I'm Christine Gritmon here with Social, the Facebook Live show that I do every Friday at noon, where I bring on a guest and we talk about social media. Today's guest is Ramon Ray, who I met appropriately enough at Social Media Day, run by the Mahwah Regional Chamber of Commerce this past June. And Ramon was the VIP workshop presenter. Is that correct?
That was correct. The VIP workshop presenter, whatever it might mean or not mean, but yes, I was.
Awesome. Yeah, I was very impressed by that. Although we actually got in a chat about bacon, I think, before I even knew that you were the VIP guy.
That is my jam. Be the queen of more bacon. I don't know. I thought I loved bacon, but you gave me some words and I didn't even know what they were. So.
Yep, apple and smoked, man. And the reason Ramon was such a VIP is because he's done a whole bunch of cool stuff. You have been an entrepreneur a few times. You've written books. Did you speak at the White House or something?
I have been to the White House, invited by the president's staff and the Trump administration and the Obama administration to speak to his about personally. I guess they knew they were leaving away, Hillary or Trump, and so they said, "Hey, Ramon, what can we do as we go to the private sector? Of us who are not hired on," and we chatted for a bit. So it was pretty fun. It was an honor, in fact, to be there, and I've testified the as well. So
nice. So clearly, Ramon's kind of a thing, and your thing right now, your main thing is Smart Hustle magazine. Is that right?
That is correct. One of my main things. Smart Hustle magazine is all about entrepreneurship. I love, as you're doing on this show, I love covering the journey of entrepreneurs and small business owners. It's a passion of mine. I was doing technology before that, but I just love the story. To me, there's nothing that gets me more excited than meeting somebody and, stop. What's your story? How did you do it? How did you screw up? How did you fail? How did you get funding? How did you not get your funding? Where did you blah, 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 blah. So Smart Hustle is all about entrepreneurship and small business, not just entrepreneurship, because you be a business owner and not want to be an entrepreneur as well. So yeah.
I work with the teeny tiny businesses mostly, kind of like myself. I've just got a lot of heart for it. There's a lot of passion there, but at the same time, there's often not a lot of there's not always the most know-how. You kind of are passion led, but sometimes the strategy part gets a little it can be a challenge. And the money part and all of that. So Smart Hustle kind of teaches you all sorts of stuff. I mean, we're all in the same boat. And I know that, and you've got the Smart Hustle Small Business Conference that I'm really psyched to attend on November 1st. So that'll be cool. This is the 12th one?
Absolutely. This is the 20th, and I'm happy that Seth Godin will be speaking there. People say, you get him? How did you get him? Well, nothing special. I emailed and engaged him. So he's going to be there. And I'm pretty excited for people too. But November from the heart of New York City. So I hope you and your tribe come.
So what am I going to learn there? To help
a couple things. I think
tiny small business. What am I personally doing?
Exactly. Seth is and I have a teeny tiny small business too. You guys can palatial rent that Christine saw me put together in seconds. So that's behind me. But really, a few things. I think, of course, it's going to be heavily marketing led. That's kind of my cup of tea to leadership or finance or strategy. I'm in the marketing, as you are the marketing side of the world. So I think a number of the speakers will talk about marketing in one degree or another. Becca Brown, who some people may have seen her episode on Shark Tank. She'll talk about publicity and PR. We have the head of YPD's Transit Bureau, who's like the head of a big division. We'll be talking about leadership and how he guides men and women to lead. So things we'll be talking about: leadership, sales, how to be likable, and a few more things. So it's going to be fun.
I like the how to be likable. That can be such a business tool.
Exactly. It's from my friend Michael Katz, who you may want to have on your show one day as well. And he's going to talk about how small business owners, if it's nice, how to get more sales. And I know we all try to be nice, but I think sometimes it's good to get tips and how to bring that smile, as you do very well, and flair. And people, at least even if they don't buy from you, if they like you on the right track. If they don't like you, then that's kind of game over.
Yeah, and getting people to like you is part of the, really cliched 3-word thing that I want to have tattooed on my body at this point, which is know, like, and trust. People want to buy from and work with people and companies who they know, like, and trust. And like is a really big part of that.
Yeah,
a big part of what draws you in.
Yeah, and I think it's that schmooze factor. I think there's a book I read, it's Strengths Finders books when I was working for a company, and my manager said, Ramon, you should take a Strengths Finders test. I'd never done one before. One of these not Briggs and Riley, but those fancy long word things, those tests you take about your personality.
I did one of those back in my corporate life too.
So I took that test and I won a strength. The schmoo is woo, WOO. I never heard of the word, Christine. Never knew what it was.
Ooh, you got to pitch that woo.
Yeah.
Nice. So. I like that. And woo really is kind of inbound sales, basically. It's like getting people in. It's romancing it a little bit. And it's a very, very important skill. Now, speaking of skills, I want to talk to you about what you think some really important skills are for small business people to have, not only when starting their business, but also to move their business forward. So what are some things, obviously good marketing, but let's talk about what that means. Sure. And the schmooze and the likability. Let's talk about some factors that you've seen, because you've seen a lot of small businesses, not just your own, through Smart Hustle. What are some things that you think are really, really important for small business owners, some strengths that they should be focused on developing in order to move their business forward and build it?
Sure, Christine, it's a good question. I think when I think of this, I think of Seth Godin, in fact, quite a little bit, who's shared with me some things. I to him one day, a bit sad and dejected that I wasn't at a higher level that I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. And ironically, he's told this advice to other people. There's an art fortune, like Seth Godin's best advice to me, not written by me. Somebody else had talked to Seth. Mm-hmm. And the question to ask is, what game am I playing? I work from a home office, Christine, a very small team. I'm not sure about you, but you said you're a tiny business too, so both of us are smaller businesses. But he said to him, I guess the point is that what game are you playing? Because if you be a $50 million business, a $10 million business, $5 million business, those are different strategies it takes, different discipline, scalability things you have to have than like myself. I'm not a $10 million business. I can grow a business in $1 million. That I can do. But beyond that, Christine, it just takes a different discipline that I don't have, nor do I want.
Yeah.
So I guess that's really the one thing I say is to ask yourself, what game are you playing? Where do you want to be? I think two more things I'll say, and then I love your feedback, because I think really the hustle, the grind, the passion, the persistence, that's a big part of it. And the third part I'll say at a very high level, we can get tactical if we want, but at a very high level is just the desire to learn. As I shared with you, Christine, I've hinted this, like finance is not my strength. That's a very weak area for me. I'm sad about it, but it's just my brain's wired differently. Even now, if I talk long, I'll cry about it because I'm so frustrated. That
you have other strengths. You're all good.
But my point, but I'm taking lessons. I know the weak areas, so I at least try to dive in deep and compensate for that, if that makes sense. You could probably say this a bit better than I can. But look at the three things.
And you can also hire people who have those strengths. That's one thing. I just started working with a business coach because I don't know what game I'm playing. So I need to define for myself what game am I playing and how am I gonna get there. And the first thing she said to me is, she said, your homework, the thing you got to do before we talk again even, is hire someone to do your damn books. You're not doing it. You're not going to do it as well as they will. Just freaking hire it out. You know, you need to focus on your skills and what you do and be there, and hire out the other crap, the crap that doesn't have to be you. And that's very interesting, because I feel, oh, well, it's my business. I should know how to do everything in it. And yeah, I should know what the person doing my books is doing, especially since if I have to hire anyone else, I want to be able to function in that space. I should learn what these things are so that I am capable of doing anything in my business. But when it comes down to it, I got to what game am I playing? Right. I'm not playing the financial management game.
In hiring, you're right. And I tell people that, going back to the marketing side, Christine, I'm a consultant. People cannot call me for help with it. They can call you. Mm-hmm. And so when I speak to people, I have people raise their hand, because I leave the stage and I talk about the things that I talk about. I say, who the experts are in the room? I point them out, because while I want the business owner to know how to do Google Analytics and Facebook ads and all cool stuff, you should know how to do it. Mm-hmm. But as you grow, as I do, you need to hire somebody to help you do this stuff. Christine, it's a bit complicated. I mean, it's easy for us maybe to agree, but for the average business owner, who wants to read an FAQ from Facebook at 3:00 in the morning? Hire somebody to do it for you.
Mm-hmm. That's another question I have, actually, when it comes to building your business and putting it together. How do you go about building a team? Like, what are some tips you have for that? Because that's also something I personally want to know, because I'm just me and it's not working. So I'd love to know kind of what I'm building my team, starting probably to some degree in like October, November, but really looking at it seriously in terms of what I'm going to need going forward in an action plan in like January. So what are some things that you've done this? You've been, the spark, the catalyst, you've started stuff, but then you've had to bring other people on board in order to build to where you've built. So what are some tips you have for going there?
Sure. I think once you find out what game you're playing, once you know that and where you want to go. So here's what I've done in my playbook. One, I have a project manager, an assistant. Some people might say the word, which I hate, virtual assistant. It happens to be a she. She happens to be a she. She's not in the Philippines or in Mexico or in Pakistan. She's like 100 miles west of where I live, give or take. So my point is, I have an assistant. I don't like to use the word think. That means, I have a stack of business cards, give it to this person. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who is intrinsic. Another thing I can do, Christine, spell or use big words. Intrinsic, I think the word. Is that the word, Christine?
Yeah.
Intrinsic? Is that word? Okay, good.
Intrinsic is totally a word. Totally a word.
She's intrinsic in my business, and works. That's one. So that's my manager or my admin assistant. And I noticed that other players in the field who are beyond where I am, all of them had one. When I said, hey, can we talk on the phone? Can we have a chat? Let's have coffee. Oh, talk to Joe. Talk to Mary. They'll set it up. So that's one thing I have in my life. Point two, I have an agency. Again, as you know, a lot of the work I do is content-based. Somebody else, it could be the things. It could be events or the things. But content's a big part of what I do for my clients. So I have an agency that I work with that helps me scale this and go much faster. So whether it's an agency, whether you're hiring somebody else, whether you're working with Christine, however it is, you need to get someone to a part of your team. They don't have to be a hire that helps scale what you do. I mean, if you're an automaker, you can be in your home office, have somebody else in charge of making bottles. That was a dumb example, trust me, but it's the point that I'm making. So that's point two, is really to have that team that can help scale beyond what you need. And I think point three, especially if you want to stay small but still scale, have clear system in place to connect all these things together. I use Asana with many different project tools.
I've heard good things about Asana. I started, I had an intern this past summer, and one of the things I had her work on was looking into what systems I could have to just organize my brain, so I can look at, what my picture looks like, who am I working with, where does everything stand. We went with the HubSpot CRM. I'm definitely not using it to its full potential. I need to play with it. And that's something else I haven't had time to do, but I do need to. But I can also hire someone to help me.
And I saw that you and Michelle are going to Inbound. Is that?
Yeah.
You and Michelle Obama are going to Inbound, I believe. I saw that in your email newsletter. But no, so that's another thing to mention, to scale automation. I mean, whether it's Infusionsoft, HubSpot, tons of different types of tools that do different types of things. Christine, man, to automate as much as you can, especially to touch customers. Like, if they then do this, because again, a lot of what I do, I don't have individuals talking to me. I don't consult or talk to individuals except for my clients. So, but automate as much as you can is another big tip that I would tell somebody. Automate. I actually was meeting with a friend the other day, and she sent me to a site called automatethatshit.com, ATS, and it basically tells you all the stuff you should be automating and how, and I need to get on it. And I actually have a friend who I'm planning on hiring to do some coding for me to just automate some stuff. Like there are tools that do almost what I need, but not quite what I need, and she's just going to make them work, and that's. And I'm sure most of your audience knows these tools, but like Zapier, or I think, or some people say Zapier,
Yes.
Z-A-P-I-E-R.
It connects to so many things.
Yes. And if it doesn't connect to it, you probably don't need it. And then if this, then that. I never use that tool, but I know many people use that, and tons of other tools like that can build connectivity with applications for sure.
Yes, and thank you for reminding me of IFTTT, whatever it is.
If this, then IFTF. No, if this, then IFTT. Yes.
Okay, well, whatever it is, thank you for reminding me of that, actually, because I have a client who needs that, because she's more comfortable in some platforms than others. So I want to be like, okay, then you don't have to deal with those other platforms. Set something up to automate it.
Absolutely. So important.
Yeah, I need to automate some stuff. Well, that was great. So let's go back to the crux. Define what game you're playing. Know what game you're playing.
Sure.
So can you talk about what your journey has been with that? Like, did you have a clear thing from the onset of what Smart Hustle Mag was going to be, or have you redefined it over time and had shift plans?
It's a big question. And I also have worked with a coach, Christine, invested quite a bit of me to do so, but it's helped me. And I still struggle with this. And maybe you can help me, while we're talking right now. But here's the game I'm playing. Mm-hmm. There's Ramon Ray, the brand. Mm-hmm. I am a producer of campaign events for large brands. I also have Smart Hustle Magazine, which is my tribe building mechanism. That's the way I really do build a tribe, but internal business, my tribe building mechanism. So I'll stop there and go on, but what I realize is that what I'm happiest, Christine, what I enjoy doing the most is producing events, producing campaigns, working with amazing people to help execute it, and I love working with the large brands. So that's the game I'm playing. But where I struggle, Christine, is I'm off. Oh, there's a squirrel. Oh, there's a bird. Oh, what? I get so distracted. Oh, me and Christine have a spoon carving company, and I do other things that distract me that take me off that path. So the game is Ramon as a speaker, as the producer. That's really my game, working with large brands. But then sometimes I get distracted, creating other projects, doing other things. I have a video production company, mysizzlevideo.com. It's going okay. It's a viable company, but I wonder, should I have started a video production company even though I could? That's what I mean. Yeah.
But at least, I guess, at least those different pursuits have their own sort of defined plans instead of, all being under the same umbrella? Yeah. So that's at least, a start.
And for mysizzlevideo.com, the production, that was just because it's so easy, Christine, to create something. You can put a website together. You build a team relatively easily together, which I did, and on that platform we create videos. It's just it's great. It's again that case. It does distract a bit away from Ramon Ray as the brand. As my coach said, kind of the secrets. That's what she said, not me, but one who, I think she told me, Ramon, you don't know that Ryan has his hands in producing other things. Some that has more on it. So my point being, I need to be more focused on working with large brands to help them execute their goals, and I can be behind that. That's what I enjoy doing. I mean, heck, I'd love to produce a Christine, all about branding. Nothing to do with Ramon. So that's the kind of thing I want to do.
Nice. Yeah, and this is great because I'm trying to figure out what and Robert is commenting, focus equals flourish. Amen. Robert Stern, the social leader, our fellow presenter at Social Media.
Thank you,
Robert. Yeah, I'm trying to redefine what game I'm playing. So I need to make sure that I do that as opposed to just floating along. Because you know what? If you don't know what game you're playing, you're not going to win it.
Right. And I know this is an interview, but do you mind? Is that allowed? If I'm not allowed, Christine, you can smack me in the back of the hand. Am I allowed to ask you a question?
Absolutely, please do.
Yeah, just share. I've been curious. What game do you want to play? I'd be curious to know where. I think where you're at.
So my focus has shifted.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed a lot of that. It sort of hiccuped. Can you say that again?
No, I was just going to say, Christine, right now, as I know it, people can engage Christine to help them build their digital enterprises, as I understand, I think. So where are you now, and where do you want to go?
I like that. So this is kind of it's been in transition, because when I first started my business, which is only a little over a year ago, if you asked me what I wanted to do, I wanted to just like do the social media for lots of small local businesses like that. I thought I wanted to do content creation. I knew I wanted to work with the mom and pops. And then I got what I wanted, and I said, God, I can't do this well for too many places at a time, because it's very intensive. Like there's a reason it's a job. And I was just like, I can't scale this. I cannot scale this and do it the way I want to do it. And it was stressful and exhausting. And I was like, I can't. But at the same time, I feel like this is really important. I feel like I still really want these mom and pop businesses to have this.
Right.
So then I decided that I was going to move a little bit more. This is where what I'm about to sort of be moving out of now, short-lived experiment. But I had decided, you know what, I'm going to work as a consultant and teach people how to do it better themselves, which works to some degree. And I actually have had some great experiences doing that. But at the same time, it's tricky because, you know, you can give the strategy, but if they're the ones executing it, it's very hard to say, okay, that's results. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, it's tricky. So I'm trying to move more into, I'm taking a step back. I'm looking at what's the core of all of this? What are the cores of what I wanted to do? And how can I do it in a way that fits better into my life? And so now I'm about to kind of take a step back from a lot of my stuff in the month of October. I'm going to rebalance my life, and I'm going to work with my coach, and I'm going to really kind of clarify what I'm going to be doing as I move forward. And I think what that's going to be is things like e-courses. I have an e-course that's launching in October, which is really exciting, Strike Up the Brand. So things like coursework, workshops. I led a live workshop the other day that was electrifying, was fantastic, and we're doing more of that. I want to do more speaking and presenting. Because I decided that I really still want to stick with small businesses. I still want to help the mom and pops. I don't want to work with big brands. Right. But I feel like teaching ultimately is what seems to be working out the best. It seems to bring the best satisfaction to both them and me. They feel like they got what they wanted. I feel like I gave what I wanted. And so I think I'm moving more into that, and it all is coming down to branding and the nuances therein, because that is where everything starts. Every consultation I've had with a client from the beginning, even when it was just, you know, I'm going to take your pictures and post them, has been about who's your brand, what's your brand, who are you trying to communicate this to, and how can we communicate this to them. So I think really my company is evolving from being social media execution to social media strategy to now I'm really taking it back to the basics and moving towards digital branding, essentially. Social media being my largest and most favorite tool, but figuring out who are you, what is your message, what is your point of difference, and how can we communicate that digitally? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. When they want to execute it, the Christine Incorporated can do that, or you would most likely farm that out, or you're not sure yet?
I'm trying to figure that out, because it's so funny, because when all I wanted to be doing was executing, was a hard sell, and now that I've decided that I'm moving out of execution, that's what everybody wants. So I'm trying to figure out people who I can recommend, and eventually I might get to a point where they do that under me, where I kind of farm things out, but you're still working with Christine Gritmon Inc., and I'm still overseeing it, but I'm not there yet. Got it. So it might go there, but right now I'm kind of moving it back to, I help you strategize your brand, what it is, and then how to express it. Who are you and how do you do it?
Right. And one thing that I'm hearing, if everybody else, when they're hearing this live, the video goes up, is that Christine and both of them mentioned coaches. You see that? I mean, I know Christine is like super smart. I'm not as smart. Trust me, I'm not. However, both of us use coaching. That's one thing. It's different than all the marketing, all that. But for everybody who wants to grow, you know, how much you're paying, I don't know. How much I'm paying, but we're paying somebody something, you know, or otherwise, by being, get a coach. They can help you really get out of your mind and not smell yourself. It's hard. I'm Ramon. I to others, but I need somebody to talk to me. Like they say, the best lawyer hires. What's that?
Solving other people's problems is always so much easier than your own. But I'm sorry, you were saying something great about a lawyer or something.
No.
Sorry.
I was just saying, a best lawyer hires a lawyer. That's the thing with the delayed.
Yeah.
You know, you tell each other. But no, that's all I'm saying is that we're experts in ours, but we're getting experts to help us.
Mm-hmm. And that's important. Yeah, I'm still trying, and clearly I'm at a weird kind of point where I'm trying to figure out my new move. It's clear that I need one. So that's really going to be mostly hitting, you know, the late fall, winter, and especially hitting hard in the new year. It's almost like relaunching, except I'm not relaunching. I'm sort of subtly easing into things because, as I learned from the first go around, you know, I have to make sure it works. Yeah. You know, if I'm changing stuff, so I'm trying to figure that out. Robert says, start by writing down your core 4 items you want to focus on, and freaking man. So I'm going to do that. And oh, Beth, we're going to have a fun October. That's my coach.
Hey, slow, Christine. Remember, you could take it at a time, meaning still Christine the Executioner, as it were. Ooh, wow. Christine the Executioner. I should buy that name and spell it, but Christine the Executioner, and do that work, and then morph into just consulting. You know, you can take it a bit at a time. That's, you know.
Yeah.
But we're always in evolution mode.
Yes. Evolution is not a bad thing. Just make sure that you're directing it, you're driving the car, you're steering the damn thing. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. But I love that. I love the insights that you shared. Know what game you're playing, and, you know, and learn constantly. And I'm going to look back and sort of blog it all up. But that's awesome, Ramon. Thank you so much. This was really helpful. Sorry I made it a little about me, but I'm in the midst of transition right now.
I learned too. That's good.
And a reminder to everyone, I am pushing this e-course here, Strike Up the Brand. You may have seen my lovely little vintage pin-up-y girl looking things with the trumpet. Toot your horn. People have trouble tooting their own horns, partially because they're not even sure what tune they're supposed to be playing. So I will help you figure it out. It's not a do it whenever you want course. It's 4 weeks. Each one of those 4 weeks, I'll be releasing a video each week. That's another kind of step on that journey of figuring out who you are, what your point of difference is, who you want to communicate that to, and how to communicate it. And there's also a secret Facebook group, very supportive. We can talk it all through together. And I'll be doing a Facebook Live office hour every week in that group. So you actually get to work directly with me while you're going through this, which is, I think, pretty darn good. So,
it is good.
So I'll put the link for that under this thread. And yeah, thank you so much, Ramon. I'm really excited for the Smart Hustle Small Business Conference on November 1st in New York City. If anyone else is going to go, definitely hit me up because we should meet. We should absolutely meet. We should selfie. Hugs and selfies. Love them. And yeah, so thank you so much again, Ramon. I'm so glad we've stayed in touch. I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. And bye, everybody.